Hey everyone, how are we all doing? Okay, so before we get started, everything I say in this video is my opinion, mine alone. Please feel free to do your own research, come to your own conclusions. With that being said, let's do this. Okay, so I was going to do this video about a week or so ago, but due to ill health and the ongoing problems I'm currently having with my health, I haven't been posting as much as normal, and I apologise for that. I'm trying to get on top of the health stuff, but I guess it's going to take a little time. So, DCP has only gone and had a channel terminated. This is out of order. This is so wrong. Josh wants to silence everybody who's got anything to say about him. Anything that's not good anyway. I recently shared in a comment that not only does he have people's addresses, but he has their phone numbers too. And was having personal conversations with these women who are subscribed to him, and this is wrong on so many levels. So many levels. It's insane. So yeah, he had another channel terminated. He privacy struck him 3 times, and Solitary has lost their channel. I'm hopeful that they will get their channel back if they fight against it. So let's just hope, guys, is it? So, I have been through 5 hours of torture. 5 hours of pure hell. Watching DCP's life story. Now, it probably wouldn't surprise you that even whilst talking about his life story, he brought Jess Pham into it. That is how obsessed this guy is with Jess Pham. Josh, she's not going to sleep with you. She's not going to touch you with a barge pole. She has more sense. I hope. If I was any of these family channels, including Maya Knight, Father in Autism, Jess Pham, and numerous other mothers that he has spoken and shown their children about, I would be going to their videos and I would be striking them. Each and every one where he shows their children. I can only hope that Josh gets a taste of his own medicine. Josh is a nasty, vindictive man. Or I should say boy. Because real men don't sit there talking trash about women. That's for sure. So I'm going to work backwards from Josh's life story. And I do have notes, so when I'm looking down, I'm checking what I'm missing, if I'm missing anything important. So in part 5, in the final part, I believe, of his story, Josh talks about losing his mother. Now, I think this is the most genuine he is throughout the entire 5 hours. You can really sort of see his emotions. But I struggle to speak about people who have passed away. It's just something I do. Something's happened. I can't talk about people who are not here no longer without getting emotional. So I did feel that bit was real. Josh talks about weight loss surgery and how he paid $5,000. And he also talks about fat shaming people and how telling someone who is having weight issues that they look great even though they're a little overweight. according to Josh, you shouldn't tell people who are overweight they look good. That is problematic. You don't have to be mean to someone because of how they look or they have a little extra weight. Josh, it's just disgusting. In part 4, he discusses wanting to become a worship pastor, going to college, but he didn't go to college to make friends or to get married. Because apparently people go to Bible college for a husband and wife. Okay, whatever floats your boat. Josh went to college because he wants to become the greatest musician that ever lived. Not gonna happen, Josh, sorry. Josh talks about remembering 9/11 and where he was at the time when he came on the TV and everyone was running past his dome. Josh is very money orientated. Very money orientated. Now I'm hoping to get through this before it gets anywhere near an hour long. So I'm probably going to miss quite a bit out, but I'm going to try and get the important things in. Throughout the 5 hours, Josh talks about being poor 31 times. Josh says the word money 65 times. What? Josh has an obsession with money and being poor. Being poor to Josh means you're trash. That's just the feeling I get from him. Josh talks about meeting his wife, getting his first car, having his future wife at the time pay for his car to go on the road while he cuts her an album. Okay, Josh, because you've got connections in the music industry, that would get this put on popular radio stations, I guess. Your wife got ripped off, Josh. Sorry. Josh talks about becoming a dad and adopting his nephews. Cool. What I found out about Josh through these videos is when he's lying, he babbles. And he splutters over his words. It's like he's trying to be genuine, but he can't get through that sentence quick enough. And if you go and watch his videos, you'll understand what I mean. But it is a clear indicator to when Josh is lying. It's actually kind of funny in a childish, naive kind of way. In part 3, Josh also talks about living with a church family. He was around 17 at the time. He was asked to leave this house because he was caught watching porn on the family computer. Considering the way Josh talks about women who engage in the adult entertainment community, seems very hypocritical, because Josh doesn't think that a mother should be allowed to have an OnlyFans account or work anything in the adult entertainment world. Josh curses like a 5-year-old. Like, he'll say something like, "I'm not effing kidding you." It's almost like he doesn't know how to curse, which is really weird. But when he was asked to leave, Josh then says that he was allowed to sleep in the church at night. Bit of a weird one. Not sure I've ever known anyone who has slept in a church with what's the word? Where he's been allowed to sleep in the church. Permission. That kind of surprised me. In where am I? Part 2, Josh talks about trauma. Josh talks trauma with his mother going out on weekends, and how when she would come home, she would be drunk, bring another bloke home with her, and how she made things better by giving him money. Josh talks about taking kittens to school and hiding them in his desk. Again, a bit of another weird one. He talks about he drove his bike. You don't drive your bike, Josh, you ride your bike. You ride a bike, you drive a car. You don't drive a bike. Josh talks about starting fires. And not just one fire, but several fires. Josh was extremely sort of entertained by fires, and how the police would just take him home and drop him off and leave him there, whether his mother was in school at home or not. This is where Josh starts talking about going to church, Sunday school, and a bus that picked kids up. Josh says that a teacher once stopped and asked if he had lunch, and yet didn't. So the teacher was trying to figure out what was going on. And Josh said this was the first time anyone had showed him any love, which was okay. Around this time, Josh is talking about his mother getting divorced and the physical abuse becoming more abandonment after his mum was divorced, that is. Josh talks about stopping his mother taking her own life on several occasions. I'm going to say that must have been heartbreaking. No child should have to do that. Ever. There was a point Josh talked about not being liked. But when he went to college, he did psychology and decided that he was going to change the way people thought about him. I guess doing psychology, you learn how to talk to people and how to manipulate in some way or another. But that's just my opinion. Josh says at a young age that he was bullied relentlessly. But if there's a reason people don't like you, Josh, and that's because of your attitude towards people, they're going to bully you. They're going to treat you the way you treat them. And that is something I see a lot in life. People who think they're better than each other, but then crying they're getting bullied. And I can see this in you now, Josh. The way that you talk about these mommy vloggers and family vloggers, wherever, you talk about them as if they're trash, but you expect respect in return. You talk about someone's cleaning products smelling like her vagina. But if someone said something like that about your wife, oh my God, you would hit the roof. You get treated the way you treat others. Respect is earned, not expected. Josh says that he wouldn't name people, but he goes on to name a lot of people. He also likes to show photos of places that he lived, the hospital he was born at, the house they lived at when he was 3, the house he lived at when he was 12, and so on. Josh talks about shoplifting as a child. Josh talks about being sent to live with his dad. But he called his mum and said, I can't do this. And she sent him money, but he's confused. Did he go home on the bus? Did he go home on the train? And he didn't have enough money, so someone on the ticket office slipped him $3 to get his train fare or bus fare home. But then Josh is sent to live with his sister. Now he talks a little bit about his siblings and how his mother and sister took out things in his name, mobile phones, I don't know, loans or whatever. He says this was, do you know what, I'm getting so stumbled with words lately. This was fraud, is what Josh says. They builded up debt in his name and it's fraud. Josh talks about his mother in part 1 and how he didn't know a lot about her until after she passed away. Now, this is where I asked my husband to please hand me the gun. Josh talks about his family and DNA tests that he did and how these DNA tests like 23andMe where it shows where your ancestry comes from. Now, Josh says that he's pretty much Brit because of a certain percentage of where his roots come from. And he goes into talking about being a percentage African and different places like that. And he says his mother's birth name was Nash. My great-great-grandfather came from Runaway Bay when they were building the railways in the UK. My great-grandfather was a Nash. My grandfather was a Nash. My uncles are a Nash. My mother was born Nash. I do not want to be related to Joshua. Not in any level. I would rather change my name by deed poll. Thankfully, I don't need to. I got married and my name was never Nash. But that would just be devastating to me. That would be humiliating to me on so many levels. Now I could go over a million things that Josh has put in these videos, but in all honesty, he wouldn't do jack. All I can see here is Josh pulled a Katie Joy. When things getting hot, you go to the sad fishing, trauma dumping, and anything that's the oh pity me. They're bullying me. They're my haters. They don't like me for this, that, and the other. No, Josh, people don't like your attitude, the way you speak about women, the way you speak about mothers. I'm sorry that you had a bad mother, and so many people did. I'm sorry that you were poor growing up. So was I. I ain't rich now either. But I'm happy. I'm not healthy, but I'm happy. We do what we can with what we got. We don't sit around complaining about it every day. I don't come on here and say I'm poor 31 times in 5 hours. Talk about money and the lack of 65 times. The way Josh treats other YouTubers is like they're there for his benefit. They should bend the knee to him. He is the master of all good. He is the dad of YouTube. No, Josh, you're the biggest hypocrite on YouTube. And the biggest joke right now, too. You know what you're doing, but you keep doing it. No one liked you growing up because of your attitude. And no one likes you now because of your attitude. Maybe one day you'll realize that. Maybe one day you'll have an enlightening and realize that you've made a lot of mistakes. You stalk and harass mommy vloggers. You stalked a little boy and hunted him down. How many TikTok accounts have you had banned now, Josh? How many women's numbers do you have, Josh? How many addresses have you got? How many people gave you their address for a keyring or a sticker or a shirt? What did you do with those addresses, Josh? Where have you stored them to? What are you using them for? Is this something your wife should know about? These women that you're talking to on phone calls? When you're out walking your dog? When you're in your basement? Is there anything that your wife should be concerned about? What about these women you stalk for months on end? Have people send photographs of them to you when they see them out and about? Someone did with Micah Staffer 2 years after she left YouTube. Josh, you're a problem. And the internet is not the right place for you. Because you're dangerous. Someone's going to get hurt one day. And it's going to be because of you. Because of the stuff that you put out on your channel. Because there are people out there who hang off your every word. And they want to destroy the people you're going after. And that is a problem. I hope there is not a part 6 to your life story, because I cannot watch it. No way in hell. Hopefully this is the end of your life story and your trauma dumping and sad fishing. Anyways, I'm going to end this here because I need to get this out of my head and clear it away. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and share, subscribe, and do all the YouTubey things. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye.